presidential primary. Romney won the Iowa caucuses last week. The former Massachusetts governor is also expected to win in New Hampshire, where he is well known and has a vacation home. But it's wide open contest for second place. Joining us now is Simon Rosenberg. He is a political analyst and joins us from Washington. So Simon, how important is winning New Hampshire? I mean, what if Mitt Romney wins, then what?
Well, it's very important for Mitt Romney. He's been far ahead there by 20, 30 points for months now. He's got to have a good showing tonight. If he gets under 40%, there could be stories tomorrow that, he faded at the end. He stumbled a little bit. He made a miscue on the stump yesterday, one of his first big mistakes in the campaign. So even though he'll probably win tonight, he's still not as strong as he really would want to be at this point, and the weakness in the Romney campaign is still evident to those in the rest of the Republican field, which is why they're continuing.
And so curious your thoughts, who you think will come second, because this is very much, it seems, almost a race for the number two position.
Well, it's a battle right now, it seems, in the latest polling between Ron Paul and John Huntsman, who seems to have had a good couple days. And I think what's really important here to recognize is that Romney's the front runner. I mean, he's likely to win this thing. He's not as strong as I think he'd want to be, but the greatest asset that he has now is a divided field. There are 4 or 5 other candidates who are fighting it out for that anti-Romney position. No one of them has been able to consolidate and become the alternative to Romney. So despite the fact that Romney continues to disappoint in his polling, I mean, remember, even in Iowa, he got fewer votes than he got 4 years ago. And so he's still not knocking the cover off the ball, as they say in America, is that the other candidates also haven't been able to put it together. So if you're a betting man or a betting man or woman, it sure looks like Mitt's in good shape for the rest of this race. But, he's got to do well tonight. He's got to do well in South Carolina, Florida, Nevada, and then we enter a lull. Well, tonight, I think that, it's going to be a neck and neck, it looks like, between Ron Paul and John Huntsman. And we'll let the voters in New Hampshire decide that one.
Now, he's already checked out of New Hampshire and headed to South Carolina, both figuratively and literally. I mean, how will he fare?
I think he had a disappointing week. I think, coming out, I should have expected him to break into double digits in New Hampshire. It didn't happen. He's redirected his campaign down to South Carolina. And look, the next few weeks are going to be very consequential. Mitt Romney could win the whole nomination by the end of January, or we could be in for a protracted battle that goes into May or June. And so he's going to work very hard now to use the advantages he has, the organizational advantages, the financial advantages, to try to put this race away. Doing it, but he's certainly, this is going to be what's been a very, he'll get his 15 minutes, and I think he'll use it wisely. I mean, he's an able politician. He was a very successful governor. I think he's in a different class than a lot of these other candidates who've had their rise and then stumbled. And so, we could have a very different dynamic in this race tomorrow.
All right, Simon.
So much. Appreciate the opportunity.
And meanwhile, Newt Gingrich said if he won the Republican nomination and eventually became president, he would approve a multi-billion-dollar Canadian project.
If I become president, I will approve the XL Keystone Pipeline to help Canadian oil get to the world market.
TransCanada is pumping up its campaign to win over Keystone opponents. The Calgary-based company released a bid to construct the pipeline. 7,000 manufacturing jobs would also be created. Environmental groups oppose the $7 billion project. U.S. President Barack Obama faces a February 21st deadline to decide whether the pipeline is in his country's interest.
The economy still has
Well, it's time for a short break here on Express. Stay with us. More of the day's top.